What's up, family? Welcome back to another episode of Mediazewtv. I hope everyone out there is in good spirits and in good health. The world seems to be going kind of crazy everywhere right about now, so it's always a blessing to be able to come together and share some light. But before we dive in, if you're new here, just do us a solid and hit that like, share, and subscribe button, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. And subscribe to join the family, because your support means everything to us. Now, with all the negativity and killing that we're seeing online and in the news, I was so glad to see some good news that Charleston White and OG Percy had finally buried the beef and came together in the name of peace. That right there. It sends a loud message to the younger generation, basically saying that it's okay to be a bigger person and it's okay to put your differences aside for a bigger cause. And that got me thinking, what if Tupac and Biggie had been able to do that before the media poured the gasoline on the situation? Because I truly believe hip hop and our whole culture would be in a completely different and better place. But instead, we just sat back and saw a fracturing of the culture, with people choosing sides and bodies dropping over and over again, all in the name of riding for your homie and sliding for your homie. But let me tell you something. It's all fun and games until somebody dies, and then there's no going back. Can you imagine the lives that were lost, the families affected and suffered when Biggie and Tupac died, all in the aftermath of just that one beef? But then you look forward and you see Nas and Jeezy going at it for years and then finally making peace. That was a beautiful thing. Then you look at Gucci Mane and young Jeezy. Even after real blood was shed, they found a way to share the stage at the verses. So there's always hope when a dialogue can be held. And a lot of the time, it's not even the two main people pushing the beef. It's the entourages and the people that's around them that just stay on go. So that's why I commend Charleston and OG Percy just for being bigger men and showing a roadmap, proving that we're stronger together than we are apart, beefing over minor things that can turn deadly in a heartbeat. And this is on us. We as older men have to show the way, because let's keep it a buck. A lot of what we see online is older men going back and forth over the pettiest stuff, but we're quick to blame all the violence on the young people. Which reminds me of a story. Story time. Back in 2007, I was working at a factory in my hometown, and my boss would always say that these young people have gone crazy with all this killing. It was always, when you talk to him, these young people this, these young people that. Well, there were two older brothers, Raymond and Yankman, who worked there, both around 60 years old. Big tough dudes, Everybody knew they didn't play around. So one Friday, Yankman, who loved to drink, went to his neighbor Bobby's house after work. Bobby ran a bootlegging spot in the town, so they've been neighbors for over 30 years. And that day, an argument started. And Yankman threatened Bobby and left and went home to get his shotgun. So he came back, walked through the door, and Bobby was behind the bar. So Bobby grabbed the old .38 pistol, shot Yankman 4 times in the chest. But Yankman raised the shotgun and blew his face off. And then walked out the door to go back home and collapsed in the ditch outside. So they had been friends for 30 years, and it was just all over just like that about a woman. So come to find out, the chick that was over there, I went to high school with her. Good looking, badass red bone. Had about 9 kids though. But both of them was messing around with her, being her sugar daddy. So that's what the argument started over, was the woman. Of course, they didn't write it like that in the newspaper, but we all knew what had happened from being around all the time and knew that both of them were dealing with her. So when we talk about violence and we always point the finger at the youth, we have to look in the mirror first, because we have to be the example. We have to show them a better way, because peace isn't just a young man's game. It's just a human game. And beef and all of that stuff, man, it really doesn't have an age limit on it. And I remember when I got back to work, the first thing my boss said was, yeah, a lot of times we always blaming this and that on the young people, and, but we got problems too. And I totally agreed with that. So seeing Charleston White and OG Percy get on camera together and end whatever beef they had going on with each other is real big for the culture. And I don't think that gets enough attention. They would rather see OG Percy and Charleston White going back and forth online. But as older men, that's a clear roadmap that everything is possible. Anything before the bloodshed starts, but y'all just let me know what y'all think down in the comments. And like I always say, man, just remember to put God first, stay engaged, and stay informed. Peace.